conversations leading up to this particular point. And we've seen one thing that has become apparent, that in the last few days, Carlos Queiroz has worked supremely, heavily on physicality. So a lot of gym work, a lot of running, a lot of these physical activities to try and get the team to arrive at the World Cup in a certain condition. That's a good thing, given what you said earlier about some of the players not being in the right physical shape.
Absolutely, they are not. And this World Cup will demand a lot of peak sharpness. This World Cup will demand that. And it will demand that largely because of all the weather complaints that we are hearing. The temperature could be very, very warm at places. So you can imagine that players are going to be drained very fast. So the stamina would matter. And that is why this competition might very well favor teams that are great at keeping the ball and finding the passes and getting the ball to move rather than chasing it. And the first goal in this tournament might in every game be crucial. Because when the team is chasing the game, they will be more likely running around and trying to do more. So if you put your players in peak conditions going into this competition, considering the weather conditions and the factors at which they're going to be playing, that could be the determining factor between two teams. The quality obviously is there, but there might be other factors that will determine what separates the two sides.
Okay, Sitcho, hold your thought. Let's try and re-establish connection with Henry. Henry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, very. You look like a ghost, Henry. I can't see you very well.
Is there no light in the USA? Is there doomsday in the USA?
He has blurred out the background in his. He doesn't want us to see what is happening in the room. That is the reason.
Is there doomsday in your room?
There's no doomsday in his room.
I prefer this background. I prefer this background.
What are you hiding?
What are you hiding?
I know Sitcho very well. Then another part, and then of course you yourself. So I'm being careful. I'm being careful with what I put out in public.
Because of Sitcho.
Because of the three of you. Not only Sitcho. I'm dealing with three bad boys.
Good to see you.
Yeah, Henry, good to see you. Salah, what's the last 3 days been like? Really good sunshine, indicative of maybe the heat to come during the World Cup, or what's been happening? What is the environment like since you guys arrived?
Well, just as you indicated, it's been very, very hot out here in the United States. Since we arrived, temperatures range between 21 and 35. I think 2 days ago, we had reports that there is likely to be a thunderstorm, for which reason we had to wrap up our training and rush back to the hotel. But that's the closest we have come in terms of a raindrop or rainfall. Aside that, it's been very, very hot out here. You wake up as early as 4 a.m., sometimes 5:30, and you see the sun. And then the sun also drops very, very late. But before we arrived here, we had seen signs of this particular temperature and weather in Cardiff. Cardiff too was very, very hot. In Cardiff as well, the sun actually rises and sets odd times, so we were quite ready to get used to this particular weather even before we arrived. The only difference between what we experienced in Cardiff and what we are witnessing here is the temperature. The temperature is quite humid and the wind is quite light compared to what we saw in Cardiff. But aside that, I think now these players are used to this weather, especially those who grew up in Ghana. They are used to this weather. Those who grew up north are also used to this weather. The coach finds a way to get the right balance. Sometimes we train in the morning. Sometimes we train in the afternoon. Even before training, they have to go to the gym, do some physicals, work on their muscles, work on their body shape before we step onto the pitch to kick the ball. We have had to switch pitches as well. I think it's also part of the strategy. Our first 3 days we trained at the American University, and then yesterday we switched pitches from the American University to the BC United training ground. Today, I think he's felt that the boys need a break So from all the intensive training we had in Cardiff to the last 4 days here in Virginia, he's decided to give them an off day today. So today the boys are free just to rest, and then they will resume training tomorrow.
Fantastic update, Henry. Thank you for that. Very comprehensive indeed. Let's get a few details, obviously. I know the FA never officially announced a friendly match, but there were, and I'm sure the FA would have wanted to play a friendly game, another one before the World Cup started. What we had picked up was that there were conversations with Jamaica, Honduras. Now we are picking up that those countries might not necessarily happen. What is the situation with lining up another friendly for this team before the World Cup itself starts?
Okay. Yes, we would have loved to play another friendly after the game against Wales. You know that we confirmed the Wales game weeks ago, if not months ago. Somewhere in March, we confirmed the friendly against Wales. We also started the process of getting at least one more high-intensity friendly match. But we were thrown between getting a qualified nation or a nation that hasn't qualified for the World Cup. As of last week, if we were staying in Europe for one more week, we would have gotten one of the top 10 teams in the FIFA rankings to play. But we had already planned to fly to USA 24 hours after the game against Wales. So that friendly against one of those top teams wasn't possible. Yes, we had conversations, initial conversations. We had meetings with the leadership of the Football Association of Jamaica that I can confirm. We also had detailed conversations and engagement with our brothers from Honduras, which I can also confirm. But what did not happen is that they had their initial plans. And in times like this, teams are looking at movement of logistics, movement of players, cost implications. And once we were the ones calling for this friendly, it means all those costs would come to us. Yeah. So we began the process of getting a favorable venue or favorable stadium for the game. We succeeded in getting one. We would have actually used the DC United Stadium for this friendly. Then I think a few days later, we were told by one of them that they were playing a game against Brazil. And so they needed to think through it again before they come back to us. Unfortunately, we couldn't confirm the friendly because of some challenges. We had to inform the technical team, i.e. the head coach, to see what we could do immediately. He needed time to think about it. As we speak, there is nothing on the table. The coach wants to focus on training for now. In the coming days, if there is anything to do regarding another game, we will announce. But at this moment, it doesn't look likely.
Oh. I mean, that is very interesting. But you mentioned the fact that you had already secured a DC United venue. Would it has the possibility of securing maybe the club itself and their players to play the game in their stadium? Hasn't that come up in any of the conversations?
Well, officially, no. I was having a chat with a friend this afternoon who mentioned that maybe we could speak to DC United. But Finto, they've been on break for quite some time because the Football Federation of USA decided to finish their league on time so that players can, first of all, join their respective countries, those who have been called up by their countries, and then others can also go on holidays because they needed to make training centers, training venues, and other logistics or facilities available to FIFA for the World Cup. So they may not be in an organized situation or condition at this point, and so we haven't considered that yet.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, Sicho is here, I'm here, Daniel is here. We could organize ourselves into a team and fly there and play the team.
Last time, Danny coached
Danny,
brilliant
Sicho is a top striker. Danny K is a top coach. I'm a top right back. We could come and face...
of all the positions in football, you decided to play at right back.
Bombing up and down.
No, he thought that was a problem area for the Blasters for a long time.
Because
he was
for at the time you decided to go into football.
But curiously, Henry, I guess Ghanaians want to know. I get the point where you say that the team had planned to fly to the USA after the Worlds game. But if we knew that staying in Europe could guarantee, according to what you said, could guarantee us a top flight friendly game ahead of the World Cup, what were the challenges in changing the plan to fly to the USA and extending your stay in Europe just to get that one game? Because we all know for sure it's crucial for us.
The plan to come to the States 2 weeks before kickoff had always been on the table. These players are coming from different parts of the world. Some played in cold conditions with their clubs. And so it is always important to come here early enough to acclimatize. Our first game is not going to be in the USA. We have to travel again. So you need enough rest. If we had stayed in Europe 1 more week, it automatically reduces the number of days you would have to recover, when you arrive in the States. And then you have to travel again for your first match in Toronto. So a lot of considerations went into taking the decision to come to America early. Because having played last week, Tuesday, it wasn't possible to play in the same week.
Yeah.
It means that it would have eaten into this week.
Yeah.
And that will ultimately reduce the number of days you've got to rest.
The acclimatization time in the USA, yeah.
Especially because in the next few days, hopefully by Friday, we will be getting ready to fly out of USA again and go to Toronto. So these are the factors that went into that decision. We in as much as we would have loved to play another game against a top opposition, you have to think about the recovery process. You have to think about the condition of the players. You have to also look into the weather and how these players will get ready enough to prepare for the first match, knowing very well that first games in every competition are quite crucial.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that a lot of the countries that are in the US for the World Cup already don't want any friendly against any team at the World Cup. It gets too physical, too competitive, because otherwise, in the East Coast alone, Germany are in Charlotte. There's so many teams in that cluster where they could get a friendly. But you're guessing that
even Croatia are here with us.
There you go. But you get the.
But why not have a friendly with Croatia?
Exactly.
You nearly moved me off my seat, but I won't keep it.
Yeah.
I nearly said something bad to my brother.
Text it to me.
Yeah. Germany are training in a school that is just about 15 minutes from where I went to school, so it's kind of ridiculous. They're in the University of North Carolina,
right.
Greensboro, which is where Michael Jordan went to university before he got drafted into the NBA. Henry, a couple of other questions. I'm sure you saw the news a few days ago from the England camp where there was a shooting and about 8 or so people got injured. What is this? I mean, and we know the history with America. We're very concerned about the safety of our people. What is the security situation like? Do you guys feel fully and well? I mean, we saw even the arrival of some of the Senegalese players. They took some Senegalese player, let him sit on some chair. They spread his legs and search everywhere except.
They even search his intestine.
But what is the security situation like with you guys? All good?
Yes, I'll say that we are fine in terms of security. We have our resolved, but from our end, it's been nothing but peaceful.
Okay. Another one for you. One thing that we didn't have the courtesy or the privilege of having is a good send-off for the team. I'm sure you've seen all the images from around the world of countries sending off their national teams to the World Cup. Amazing scenes. In the past, we've had those sort of ceremonies here in Accra before the team has been playing there. And we've arrived looking very, you know, always regal. We've always taken a lot of these things very seriously. Unfortunately, the plans this year have not allowed us to, first of all, have a send-off here at home from the fans or from the government, official presidency, whatsoever. And then second of all, you guys are already in the state. So I don't know if you have any plans for any special arrival photos or videos, something that could really, a cultural movement that could get the country in the news again. We've seen that happening with Cote d'Ivoire and what have you. At least if we are not going to win on the pitch, we might as well win off the pitch. But we can win on both as well. It doesn't hurt. So anyway, any more plans? I hear there's some dinner send-off, something. What are we doing in that respect, since we've missed quite a number of these things already?
Okay, so the first thing regarding how we arrived here, watch out for that surprise. There is something in the pipeline we are working on. You know, we haven't got into our team-based camp yet. So we decided to come to the States in a very normal way, per the fashion sense that we have displayed in our last two competitions in Cote d'Ivoire and also in Qatar. And we have another surprise for admirers and followers of the Blackstars, hopefully when we depart Virginia, where we currently find ourselves, to Rhode Island next week. In terms of the farewell party or farewell program for the team, it's very, very common. It happened in 06, 010, 14, 2022. But because of how things happened this time around, we couldn't do a proper send-off for the team before they assembled. I know the Ghana High Commission here in Washington is trying to put a package together. I've seen a couple of news running or trending on various portals. Discussions are ongoing, and I'm sure that within this week, that event. So far, I know that plans are advanced. The government of Ghana and their counterparts here in America are having a detailed collaboration in order to ensure that that program comes off smoothly. And once they firm it up, the public will know about it. But just to tie it into what we are talking about, just as I saw these images on your screens, it reminded me of the day we arrived here. We saw, you know, a number of Ghanaian football fans show their love to the team.
And journalists, and US-based journalists.
and US-based journalists, yes, I can't leave that out. Thanks for the reminder. You know, I am told that they came here as early as
3 years ago.
You know, at 4 p.m.
What's 4 p.m.? 3 years ago they were there. You see 4 p.m.
Huh?
They came there as early as 3 years ago to wait for the Blackstars.
I think the journalists came 3 years ago.
Are you? No, I'm talking about football fans.
Don't mind.
The football fans.
What's wrong with you? They were here 3 years ago just to wait for the Blackstars, but the Blackstars are not qualified for this World Cup.
They knew they were qualified.
We are Ghana. Why would we qualify?
Or they knew 3 years ago that the Blackstars.
We are Ghana. We are Ghana. Why would we qualify?
Oh, okay. So just to wrap up, I just want to say that yes, we were well received by our brothers and sisters who are based here. Some came all the way from New York.
Wow.
Some came from New Jersey just to be a part of this welcome event, and we want to express our profound gratitude to all of them. And you know, once we walk through that crowd at the main entrance, I got to the lobby and I saw our colleagues waiting for us in the lobby.
Wow.
I guess that's what Citro is waiting for.
Yeah. Because some of us,
I saw a number of them here.
Some of us wouldn't be in the States. We would have to be relying on, first of all, you, because you've got the official staff from the team.
Yeah.
We would also have to rely on our colleagues there who give us the unofficial things you can't give us. So we need the
three of them were here with me last night. and they came around 6 p.m. They left at 2 a.m.
You're a great host. You're a great host. Henry's a great host. There's no doubt about that.
That's a good one.
Because for someone to spend that much time with you in America,
No, Henry's a great host.
because in America,
that time is money.
Having fun.
Every 1 hour is
show them-
$15.
you show them a
They
good
spend how
time.
many with Henry?
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yes, he's a great host.
No, good job.
I'm sure he said, hey, today your shift, how many hours? 10 hours. Each hour, how much? $15. So collect $150. I've got your time.
And before I go off, Fejo, I will be waiting for the.
For the
Should I
what?
mention it?
The what?
You and I discussed something off air.
Yes. Send the
So I'll be
invoice. You
waiting
don't
for
have a problem.
Okay, all right.
Is it?